Hi, welcome to Life Skills with Louie. I'm Louie. Today we're talking about responding to thoughts. And if you haven't watched the introduction to this section, Getting to Great, there's two introductions, one at the beginning about introducing you to the whole section, and then a second one about introducing you to responding to parts of your experience. Please watch that so this makes sense. And if you haven't watched the introduction to the entire video series, please watch that as well, as that's important to understand when to use the different types of skills and why. So to get into responding to thoughts, just as a reminder of this chart that shows all the different aspects of our experience and aspects of resilience, today we're talking about the T, responding to thoughts. If intuitively, after you've mapped out your experience, you decide, yeah, my thoughts are really, something's going on there and I'd like to work with them, possibly change them, then you would go to this section. The first part of responding to thoughts is simply mindfulness of current thought, which is a skill that originally comes from DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy. I've changed a little bit in how it's organized to make it clear. It's been more clear as far as teaching is for me and teaching people. Basically, what I do with all of these skills, mindfulness pops up throughout this section and every section, and I simply use the 8 principles and we direct them like a spotlight onto whatever we're focusing on. So mindfulness of current thinking and thoughts, I'm going to describe what this would be like and then talk a little about the other aspect of restructuring thoughts. So if you wanted to first practice mindfulness of current thought, which is a good thing to do to get a sense of what is going on with your thoughts, you might notice your thoughts, actually bring your attention to them, not too close to the thoughts that you're lost in them and not too far that you can't see them. Describe about your thoughts. Say something to the effect of, in your mind or out loud if you're alone, thoughts about such and such subject are streaming through my mind, just very clearly. If you're a little lost in thoughts, you can also describe your current experience. Orient yourself. Where am I? I'm sitting in my office. My age is blank. My name is blank. That will help to bring you back to the present moment. Participate with your thoughts. The restructuring is definitely a way of participating with your thoughts, but you can notice if they have any images that go with them and pay attention to them. Play with them a little bit. Give them the time of day. Non-judgmentally, notice if you're judging your thoughts. See if you're able to let go of that and be okay. Accept that you're having these thoughts. Any thought is simply something that crosses through the mind and is okay. And when we get into judgment, it just causes more stress. One, mindfully focus on your thoughts. When you wander somewhere else, your attention wanders somewhere else, come back to focusing on your thoughts when you're practicing the skill. Effectively, remember your life vision. Have that be present with your thoughts. As you're thinking about a certain subject, remind yourself of your broader, bigger vision for your life. And remind yourself that you have intuition as well that can be a part of paying attention to your thoughts. Bring in your intuition, that quiet, peaceful energy within you that can help you to notice your thoughts more clearly. And finally, gratitude that you're able to have thoughts, that you're a thinking being. There is a lot of use to thoughts. They are a tool that can be extremely helpful, and seeing if you're able to access some of that feeling of gratitude. So that is an important first skill. And then I simply want to mention there's going to be another video about each of these skills. 3 different ways to respond to thoughts. This wording is, I don't know if anyone else has worded it this way. This just seems to me to make the most sense. Cognitive restructuring is a very common phrase that some people may be familiar with, where we are restructuring our thinking, our cognitions or our thoughts. I've divided cognitive restructuring into three categories: accuracy restructuring, dialogue restructuring, and directive restructuring. And I'm going to explain these briefly so you can decide which video you want to look at. Accuracy restructuring is more normal cognitive behavioral therapy, where you look at your thoughts and you see if there might be distortions, ways that they're a little inaccurate. And you can then respond to those thoughts and restructure them, change them in specific ways. If you become interested in this cognitive behavioral therapy, especially the C part of it, may be something you want to explore. There are plenty of apps and great therapists that can help you with this. Dialogue restructuring is actually having inner dialogues with your ways of thinking. As I talk about in this section, one up-and-coming type of therapy that does a lot of dialoguing is internal family systems, or IFS. There are many other types of therapies that also have you have inner dialogues with parts of yourself, and it's been around for a very long time, and it can be really effective. Directive restructuring is more giving yourself, through your mind, a clear direction, saying some kind of a validating comment or a mantra that puts your mind in a certain state and tries to keep it there, which sometimes can be very helpful for moments when that's needed. So there will be a specific video about each of these three types of restructuring to go into a little more detail to give you a flavor of it, and then you can explore more if you want to. This is a very powerful set of tools to use, and I absolutely encourage you to get some practice with it. And if it's something that appeals to you, look for further guidance and learning about mindfulness of current thoughts and cognitive restructuring.